Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One, and today me and Nate has been busy on the homestead doing a lot of things. One thing we did work on was we made another firefighting station. We've had a couple weeks with not a lot of rain, and it's been very dry, it's very windy, and I was actually talking to my buddy in Arizona. He laughed at me. He said we haven't had really any sustainable rain for 2 years, and I was complaining about 2 weeks. But we definitely have a fire risk. Everything is dry, totally dry, and this wind is what's the worst thing. I know I'm complaining, and some people out west are in a severe drought. There's massive fires burning, consuming homes, and a lot of people are suffering. So I built a complete another firefighting station on my property. The reason is I'm coming to the realization I don't want to rely on my fire department, because in a grid down situation, SHTF, they probably won't respond to my house. Plus, if something happens, it could take time for them to get here, and I want to be able to instantaneously start putting water out, even if it's just weighing stuff down in the woods to stop it, or if I need to directly spray water on my fire. I don't have to go running and grabbing things. That's why I'm going to have different stations, and actually many stations, because I need them to protect my property. Just because in a grid down, I will be the only way to stop a fire on my property, or my neighbor's coming to help me. So let me show you what I've done. I have 2-inch pumps, but the problem with a 2-inch pump is this thing don't last long. You will drain it. And if you're fighting a brush fire or some leaves are on fire, you don't need to use a 2-inch line to fight it. You can use a garden hose. You can, and that way my water will last a lot longer. And that's the point. So the setup I'm going with is I have 3 of these utility pumps, portable utility pumps. Now they run off of any type of battery box, and you can get a pretty good amount of time on them, or you can do it into a generator or into a solar system. But for me, I want to be able to react quickly. Gas generators, you all know, you can have it ready to go and you start pulling and pulling, and oh, it's like what? Or you flood it. I don't want that. Yes, I am relying, if I had to fight a structure fire, on a 2-inch line. But if I needed to wet stuff down because of forest fire, right up there on the mountains, that thing burned 4 years ago. I had hot embers landing on my property. You probably remember all the videos I did. I can look up there and see massive damage to the trees, to the underbrush. It's still there 4 years later, because a lot of stuff died because of the fire, and a lot of stuff died because it was weakened, and then disease or insects got in there. So fire is real to me, even on the East Coast. You guys out west, man, you guys got it terrible compared to what we have here. So this is a brand new firefighting station. Didn't exist this morning. I'll show you how I store everything. So let's just talk about it. This utility pump is awesome, but it does not have the ability to shut off when you shut your hose off. So basically it's going to keep running and running, and something's going to give. So you have to go with a special nozzle. You can't go with an adjustable one, because what will happen is somebody will forget and they're going to shut it down, and then this thing's going to keep running, pressure's going to be building, and something's going to give. So go with a nozzle that you can't shut it off. It just got a hole in the end. These are really nice. You get a lot of water out, and you get some distance out, and that's why I went with this. So this is sort of idiot proof. Somebody can't mess it up. So let's fire this thing up. This is a 275-gallon tote. We painted it black just to blend in, so people can't see it. I put a sandbag under this manifold because my little guys are going to step on it. They're going to try to get on top of this thing, and that way it's not going to snap off. I have the 2-inch rubber couplings attaching it, because some IBC totes have weird threads, and this is just the easiest way to bypass that problem. So on this one, I have a manifold with 2 spigots, and the reason is I have another one of these right in there, and I can use my hose and my adapter, and I can feed this one off of that one. So if I'm fighting a fire, I don't have to switch this whole pump and move everything down. That one will be paired in with this one. I'll be using both waters at the same time. So let's fire this thing up, and I'll show you a few things. It's not going to put out a ton of water, but that's what I I don't want it to put out. If I wanted a lot of water, I would hook up a 2-inch line and I would have tons of water flowing. But as you can see, I got good pressure and I do get some distance. I wish I had more distance, but I don't. So you need to have a lot of hose so you can get closer to the fire. But this is perfect for a brush fire. If I want to wet down around my house, if I want to actually wet my house, this will do an awesome job. And I'm not using my well. The purpose is, the well is great and I can run another, hose off the well, but if we lose power, then I have to go to solar. This is self-contained, ready to go. I also have these 2 tanks up here because it services a storage building, the house. So on this side, I can put some water on the house. I have another one of these things with a lot more water on the other side. So I can use that water. Actually, I have enough so I could actually feed a fire truck, a fire engine. I could give them thousands of gallons of water. So in case they can't get their tankers in quick enough, I don't want the fire truck to run out of water. They only have a few hundred gallons on it. They rely on tankers. We don't have fire hydrants in the country, so we have to bring all our water to our fire truck. And I've been on fires where the tankers have not been able to get there quick enough and you run out of water, and that's not a good sign. It's not good. So this thing is definitely good enough. I can wet the leaves down. I can do what I need to do. So let's turn this off and I'll show you what else I have up here. All right, this is off. Right next to it, 1 tree down, is another tank. On my other major station, I think I have 7 of these tanks, so I can have a lot of water flowing quickly. But it's the same setup. So right here, I could just take that whole pump system and hook into here and run it, or I can take my hose and my adapter and run from here to here, pair these 2 tanks up, and have a lot of water. Nate contributed an old box, so it's waterproof, it's awesome. Basically what we got in here is a pair of leather gloves, a hard hat, has a light on it, and it has a chem light. Safety glass is important. Also just a pair of rubber gloves, but these are not for firefighting, these are to drag hoses around. Also got some more hoses, have some more hoses there, and every house has at least 100 foot of really good quality black hose hanging on it, and then I have maybe 400 to 500 extra of that black hose, so if I had to spread out, if I had to run a water line to my neighbor's house or help him, I could. Important, chem lights. Why do you got chem lights? Is if I have to run out here at 1 o'clock in the morning and I don't have a flashlight, I can rip these open, pop them, throw them around here and have plenty of light to see what I'm doing. Very important. Also, I can put all this in here. Now, that big power box will not be put in here in store. I'll have a smaller one in here. It will only give me about 30 minutes of run time, but 30 minutes, I'm gonna know the success of this thing, or I can bring over a generator or another power box. So that's the purpose. Also, sprinkler. Why do I have a sprinkler? Say I wanna protect an area down there and I don't have time to man this station. I need to go to another station to put water somewhere else. I can set this whole system up, I can hook this sprinkler up, put it where I think is most important, and I can run off and do something else. Then I'm still fighting that area, or I'm still doing some zone protection with this sprinkler. So that's why it's in here. I hope I'm not overwhelming you. I've been prepping a long time, and so I've developed my plan. I've developed what I need to do. So if you can't do this, don't worry about it. Get 1 tote. If you have the ability to put it on a higher elevation than your house, that way at least you have gravity. You can bring water down, use a bucket. That's how they used to fight a fire. It's not the best way to do it, but if you catch a fire when it just starts, 5 gallons of water can put it out. A gallon of water can put it out. So develop your fire plan with the assumption there is no outside help other than maybe a neighbor on each side of you that will run over. So if you got a bigger piece of property, you're going to have more firefighting stations set up around your property, because you don't want to be hauling stuff around. I want to, and maybe we'll test this tomorrow or the next day. Nate can have me sitting on the chair on the front porch and he can stopwatch me and go, run up here. All this stuff will be put away. get it out, put it up, and see how long it takes me to start flowing water. And that's important. Another thing is, if I can get this set up and my wife is here, she can man a hose while I go do something else. Now, if you're gonna fight a fire, always fight a fire from the black. So if you're not a trained professional, if you get into the fire and get onto the blackened area, there's no more fuel to burn. You're a lot safer to fight that fire. So be careful. I have no illusions I'm gonna fight a structure fire when it's fully engulfed with this setup or any of my setups. But if I can catch the fire quickly, I can knock it down, maybe save some property, even save some lives. So that's why I want to stress to you, water is important for drinking, for bathing, for cleaning yourself, but you've got to have a water plan for fighting fire. Now also, my strawberry beds are right there, so if we go into a serious drought, I still will have some water up here to water those, but I'm really relying on my well, a couple springs and a creek. I can use those sources to actually fill these things up, or even rain catchment. Develop your plan. As you get your plan going, it's small, you just keep expanding your plan. So you might have, if you live in the country, you might have 1 or 2 or 3 of these firefighting stations around your property. If you only have 1 pump, then you'll have to carry it to wherever area. But it's easier to carry a pump and a power box or even a gas generator than trying to move totes of water. It's easier to move those things to the totes that are set up ready to go. I hope this helps. Thanks for watching.